getting mad or having other negative emotions at people who we hold dear is way easier, because the same action has more power over us than it would have if a complete stranger would do that. Hello guys and gals, welcome to Divine Thoughts, and today's topic is gonna be the risk of damage in relationships. We are going to have some strong ass topics, and I'm really curious to see how you bros are gonna accept the videos that we're gonna be experiencing in this series. Anyway, to today's topic, I want to talk about it because I can imagine that a lot of people are having troubles with this, and especially now with the whole corona situation, with the global lockdowns and everything. I really would not be surprised if it put that much bigger strain on relationships. Now, the funny thing about relationships is basically that everyone, or at least most people, again, this is not going to apply to all of you bros, not in the slightest, but most people, as far as I've noticed and experienced, really do suffer decay in relationships. What I mean is that when you start a relationship, everything is butterfly, right? You have a good time, you really care, you care more about what that specific person thinks about you. Maybe you turn a shade of being a little more different, just so you kind of stay in that safe zone, so that person doesn't get scared of you at the beginning, or maybe thinks anything bad about you. But what I've noticed in a lot, like if not all relationships, that with time they start to decay, and it by textbook it should not be like that. And what I mean by they start to decay is we get this little thing in our head where you get comfortable with this person. And don't take me wrong, being comfortable with a person is not a bad thing. It's a good thing. I think you have to reach that point in order to progress your relationship to a higher level, and then onward even more. But most people, when they get comfortable, they start to get a few feelings, which I actually had to write down to explain to you bros. And that what I've noticed in people is that with time they care more what a stranger would think about them. They put more effort into pleasing, making a good impression on that stranger that doesn't have any control or meaning, at least for now, in their life. And they kind of they stop putting in that effort, which really isn't that much, into their relationship that's old, I don't know, a year, 5 years, 10 years, it doesn't matter. And that's really funny, because we as humans, we are actually really flawed, and there's even more stuff that we fuck up in relationships. Like with time, not everyone, again, this doesn't apply to everyone, we feel the need to control that person almost subconsciously, because we kind of have an image of that person, how they were at the beginning, and we just expect them, to be like that forever. But that's not how relationship works. You change, everyone grew up, everyone was 16, 18, 20, 30. How many times do you look back a year, 2 years, maybe 3 years, you look back and you say to yourself, wow, I'm a completely different person right now. And going into a relationship, you have to realize that you have to love that person unconditionally and expect them to change. Because if you're going to have the need, even by the slightest, even the slightest need, especially if you show that, to control that person, is going to affect your relationship in so many negative ways. It is truly, guys, a domino effect, and we're going to be covering more of that right now. You know, someone that you don't know for that long tells you something. Maybe it's bad, maybe it's good, and if it's bad, you don't really care, you know, because the person doesn't really mean that much to you. If it's good, you're like, whoa, a stranger thinks that good of me. Wow, I must be really good. But that's kind of, it doesn't really mean much, now does it? Because that stranger does not know you, you know. Even if they tell something bad about you, especially bad about you, because let's face it, normally it's bad things, it doesn't mean anything. And the same goes for good things. I'm sure it feels nice. I'm sure you get a warm little fuzzy feeling, but do they really know you, like, compared to the person that you're in a relationship with for 3 years? And if they say the same thing, like if they say a bad thing about you, you're gonna take it really personal. You're gonna get mad and you're gonna argue. Oh, isn't that funny? Like, why couldn't... And I'm talking about small things. I'm not talking big things, you know, oh, I don't love you anymore or something like that. That's a completely different story. But I don't know, if they tell you... Okay, so if they tell you, your dress doesn't look as good as you wanted them to hear that they would say, that gets some people, mostly girls, really pissed off. So girls get mad at that, at their partners. And if you compare, you know, if a stranger would say that, they would react completely differently. Getting mad or having other negative emotions at people who we hold dear is way easier, because the same action has more power over us than it would have if a complete stranger would do that. Now that's normal, because, you know, we get hurt faster and more easily by our partners, even and especially most of the times when it's unintentional, you know, and we still get hurt even if we know that it's unintentional. And if that comes to the point that it begins to show in your relationship, that you argue more, you have troubles, you don't do some good things that you normally would do, if that wouldn't have happened, you know, if you have, I don't know, like a poker night, example, every Friday, and if you argue on Thursday and that results in not having that poker night on Friday, that basically means because you got mad, because you let yourself get mad on Thursday, you felt bad the entire day, and not only did you feel bad that entire day, you also took a good day you could have had on Friday. And that's precisely the reason why you have to sit yourself down and ask yourself, is it worth it? Is it, I'm angry now, okay, you breathe out 1, 2, 3 times. You're sad now, 1, 2, 3 times. Why am I sad? Is it a big deal? Is this action worth me being sad over it? I mean, I can confidently say that most of you would not think that it's worth being sad half the entire, or maybe even an hour, over something a person said and they didn't even have any bad intentions in it. You just made it bad. You made it bad yourself because you care so much what that person thinks, to the point that it's damaging you, and you're doing that entirely by yourself. There's no one else's fault, and you have to admit that to yourself. Why do people stick around in bad relationships where there is either physical or mental abuse or any other form of abuse or even if you're just getting, if it's a toxic relationship, if you enter a relationship and all from the beginning to the end, maybe you had 1-2 months of good and the rest is just bad. You don't get along anymore, you don't do this anymore, you don't feel the right thing anymore, and you're still pushing on. And what I want to emphasize here is on the abuse part, especially women who have abusive boyfriends, physically or mentally, which is exactly the same importance. Oh, the only difference is that physically just shows, that's it. Emotional doesn't show, but that's even more danger to it. If you have a guy who's mentally or physically abusing you and you're just taking it, you know, you're taking it because you are holding on to that idea, what he was before, or whatever the reason may be. Like, if a new guy writes you and he's being kind of an asshole, like 10% of what your partner is being, you're gonna block him, right? And you're gonna, you know, fuck that, I don't need that in my life, right? Ask yourself, if you push that minus away, why are you letting a guy like that do those things to you? Because you have to realize you're not only getting minuses from him that are worse than from the guy that was just writing you, you're not only getting minuses from him, you're also losing all of the good things you could have had from him. If you know what I mean. Basically, it means you don't get plus $200 on your bank account, and you also get minus $300 on your bank account, which means you basically lose 500. Now put that in a relationship perspective. If you know that it's been going south and you're holding on to whatever you are already, you're doing that to yourself. You're losing so much. You're losing what you could have had, plus you're getting bad things from that. And you're holding the doors shut for anything else good that could have come into your life and change it completely. Because a person does change your life, especially a partner has a huge impact on your life, especially on the long term. So you really have to think and know and live your life how you should be living it, by knowing how to control it. And that's easy because you only have to ask yourself simple questions. Why do I want to do that? Why do I want to be with him or her? Why is it okay for him or her to do that to me? Why do I feel like that to her or him? Why did that action that he or she did, or what she or he said, made me feel like that? And yeah, okay, no one wants to do that. Like most people are gonna be like, I'm not crazy, I'm not gonna do that. Who talks to themselves? It's really helpful. Like, you have to ask yourself those questions because only you know those answers. And after 5 minutes of just trying that, I guarantee you're going to feel better. If not now, then later you will feel really better. And you will at least have some clarity in your life where you can start building some stability for yourself. Okay, guys and gals, I hope this video is going to make at least someone make a better life for themselves. Maybe, you know, find out something new. Anyway, tell me what you think about videos like this. If you liked it, please leave a like. It's going to help me out a lot. If you didn't, leave me a dislike. Subscribe for more videos like this. And as always, guys, have a wonderful day.